Welcome back to the podcast. It all comes back to astrology. We are your hosts, Abby Brash and Lindsay Coffey. And Linz, happy full moon in Scorpio.
Happy full moon in Scorpio, May 1st. Full moon, baby.
So you knew it was full moon. We didn't do it on purpose on the full moon, but...
Oh yeah, I've been aware. My algorithm is like, just so you know.
It's also, so it's May 1st, which you're like, I love that we're doing this on May 1st. I didn't realize till today that it's Mental Health Awareness Month. And this episode is all about mental health.
Oh, hell yeah. Cosmic alignment.
We're doing this episode all about mental health and the 12th house. I feel like, cue Twilight Zone music. This is my 12th house outfit. This is a thrifted, silky black button-up that Dakota was like, this would look so cute on you, but it's so cropped, like too cropped for me, that I just don't really wear it.
They're not cropped enough for what the public wants.
And I'm wearing this bolo tie.
Stop, it
that
spins.
You can't really see. Yeah, it spins. It says anxiety on it. So that's why I'm wearing it. That's my show and tell. Today might be little slightly heavier topic, but I think we can, we'll still make it fun, because I feel like sometimes in my darkest moments is when I end up laughing the hardest after.
Yeah.
I don't know if that happens to anyone else, but we'll still try to make it fun and lighthearted in some ways, but we won't be talking about Fiero's ass, so it's going to be a little
heavier than Fiero's ass today.
A little more meaty.
It's not as perky.
The inspiration for this episode, I finished watching Bridgerton, watched every season twice, but I'm still want to watch it. So then I watched Queen Charlotte, and I was like, there's a hot guy in it. Gotta watch it. It's just weird when I'm like, oh, they're hot, but they look young. I'm older now, so I'm like, I can tell you're younger than me.
Oh my god,
no,
that's
weird
so
you're hot,
real. Like, why does everybody look like babies? Do you remember being in high school and when you were a freshman, seniors looked so old, and then vice versa, when you're a senior? That's what happens when you reach your 30s. The same thing happens.
So I was watching that show, and I was so struck by the 12th house themes in it. Every scene, I was like, oh my god, this is so 12th house in astrology. Then as the show went on, it started to remind me more and more about myself and my mental health, and my relationship with my husband, Dakota, dealing with my mental health issues and me helping him through his cancer journey. So we will be talking about those kinds of things today. And yeah, I cried a lot watching that show. Cried a lot, resonated a lot with it. So I wanted to talk about mental health and astrology and kind of how it shows up in the chart and in relationships, how it shows up in our life.
Yeah, it's ever present.
Yeah, so there'll be lots of spoilers, of course. I'm going to explain the whole show.
Just so you know.
So a little disclaimer, I guess, is that when I'm talking about mental health stuff, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a doctor. I'm just going to be speaking from my own experience with mental health. So just saying that. And, astrology can point to what is already there in our lives and our mental health. It's not the reason for mental health. So I just wanted to say that. I don't want people to think I think it's only because of the astrology that you have depression. That's obviously not true, but it can point to
1,000,000% not causation. It is not the reason.
The 12th house. Linz, are you familiar with the 12th house?
Yes and no. I'm here to learn from you, Abby. I like the 12th house. I kind of feel this kindred connection to the 12th house. I like that it's up in the mental world, the mental field.
Yeah, it's super mystical, that liminal space, that dark energy. Each house represents a different part of life in astrology, and the 12th house is the last one. So it's a little dark.
The final boss.
It's a little yes, the final boss. This is why you're perfect.
What is, right?
I would have never thought of that.
It's the final boss. We're la la la, we're the fool in the tarot, or we're the I don't know, Mario, and when he first starts out, we reach the end and it's like, oh, the 12th house. We've reached the final destination.
Really well said. It's right before your birth.
It's
Like,
right before the
so,
rebirth for your next life.
yes, right before the rebirth. It's the death. Yeah, exactly. Some general significations of the 12th house are isolation, solitude, which is like a more positive version of isolation.
Yeah.
Your subconscious shows mental health because it's more of a, like you said, Lynn's mental house, a mental space. Exile
Yeah.
represents our fears, a little bit of self undoing there. And it's low key the worst house, according to the ancient astrologers. In all these like Hellenistic astrology texts, they're very, they don't beat around the bush with a lot of this stuff. So yeah, they're like, it's a bad house. They say that straight up.
Is it considered quote unquote bad because maybe the word here is like difficult? Like it's not necessarily bad, but it's just like this is a challenge. Like this is something that's not easy breezy, beautiful.
Cover girl. I couldn't help myself. It's considered a bad house because it does not aspect the ascendant. And so the ascendant represents like the first house, rising sign, the moment you're born. That represents us in the chart. And like all the things represent the different parts of our life. There's the different aspects, which we've kind of mentioned in some episodes, but there's the sextile, the conjunction, the trine, opposition, square. The ascendant can't see the 12th house, the 6th house, the 2nd house, and the 8th house.
It's kind of like when you're driving and they tell you to check your blind spot, but it's like I have no way of seeing my blind spot. It's like I have to really reach my neck around and like still I'm not going to see my blind spot. It's like the blind spots of the chart.
You said that perfectly. A lot of astrologers do say 2nd house, blind spot. 12th house, blind spot. Because the ascendant, if it's looking, it's like it's in the room next door. It's on the other side of this wall, but I don't.
Parallel.
It's there, but it's not like
Sitting across the table from you. It's not like your partner who's the 7th house who you're having dinner and you're sitting across the table.
said it so perfectly. You're on fire today, Lynn.
I took my lion's mane mushroom capsules this morning. And by this morning, I mean 10 minutes before I started this podcast.
It's morning for us in our mental space, but not according to time. Is lion's mane good for your mind?
Yes. I swear to God, I swear on these. Paul Stamets, the mushroom guy. Everybody should look him up. He's like an old hippie, but he's amazing. He has his own line of like mushroom capsules that you can get at Sprouts or the grocery store or whatever. I don't know if they're at King Soopers, but I get them at Sprouts. Maybe even Whole Foods might have them. I'm not sure. But yeah.
Is King Soup
is King Soopers a grocery store? King Soopers is a grocery store here.
Colorado grocery
Yeah,
store?
sorry, I forget that.
King Soupers. We have grocery outlet here. We've got, what else? People call it gross out.
Oh, no. These pills are, I like swear by them. I am immediately calmed in the morning. I feel grounded. I don't know. It's just like really bizarre. And I think it has to do with these.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's helping me a lot.
Use the link in our bio to get.
And
Just kidding, we
the
wish.
ones I get are like, yeah, it's like lion's mane. There's a bunch of different mushrooms in them.
Another word for like not being able to see each other is aversion. When it doesn't make an aspect. So yeah, 2nd house, 6th house, 8th house, 12th house. The ascendant's like, I don't know where.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. And so those houses can tend to challenge us a bit. So yeah, you're right with the 12th house. I don't like to say it's bad, even though the ancient astrologers are like, it's bad. You're going to prison, pretty much. So
Me in my bedroom, me alone.
That's a little bit, general overview of the 12th house. Linz and I both have planets in the 12th.
The people that feel the most kindred to me also have a planet in the 12th house.
I have 4 friends with moon in the 12th, and you're one of them.
Yes.
There's something about each other that we just get. What does it mean, if you have planets in the 12th house? Such as like the ruler of your chart, your sun, your moon, if you have a stellium in the 12th. I see it as like, baby, We got some work to do.
Oh,
There's a sense of maybe you're more comfortable operating behind the scenes in certain
yes.
ways.
Yes.
A lot of therapist vibes in the 12th of like you're down to talk about those mental spaces that are difficult to navigate, might have a draw to psychology and also like yeah, spirituality, like doing mushrooms and shit, like the
Like,
psychedelic kind of dream space almost.
I think a lot of 12th house people can like really intuitively observe patterns and other people's psychology too. Like it feels like there's like a gift with a 12th house placement where I think you do have sight. Maybe this is the question, like you have the sight, but sometimes it might be hard to articulate that. I feel like with my moon is in Gemini, and it's like I feel like I have the sight, like I feel like I can see things so clearly, people's behavior patterns, whatever. I try my best to articulate it. And sometimes maybe other people, or articulate it really well and then other people don't want to admit it, or and then they like flip it back on you too.
Yeah, it's like you're not afraid to look beneath the surface.
That's it.
I feel like more intuitive kind of folks might have strong placements in the 12th. Maybe you work in a hospital and you're okay dealing with some of the more difficult things in life. I think that is similar with 8th house placements. I'm not shy around those types of things. You know, it's like you just are drawn back to them, whereas certain people, maybe they're like, I don't want to dive into that. And we're like, no, 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 let's talk about it more.
Yeah.
Let's look into it more, even if it's scary and difficult. Prisons are often associated
Wow.
with the 12th house, whether that's like a physical prison or a prison of
The
your own
mind.
mind. Living overseas can kind of fall into that. And I think the reason behind that is because, like in ancient astrology, they talk about exile a lot. If you get, like, you have to leave your country when you have to escape and you're
Yeah.
in a new foreign land that's totally new to you and you don't have the resources that you normally have and you're like cut off from your family and everything you know. Like, I mean, now it's easier because we have the internet and you're like, oh, I can move to another country and still FaceTime my family. But in ancient times, if you're not in your country, you're gone, you know, like
Bye.
it's not easy to come back. It's definitely associated with being abroad, but maybe not in a positive way, like the ninth
Yes.
house is,
Isolated.
you know.
That's fascinating.
I would say if you have 12th house placements, that alone time is a necessity. Me speaking to my own 12th house Cancer moon, love it, but I also, you know, acknowledge the ways in which it's not helpful and which it's challenging. But I find a lot of rejuvenation from being alone. Like I love, you know, hanging out with people, but I have a strong like boundary on my socialization time. Like if I'm going to an improv show, I'm probably not going to get drinks after. A, because I'm married and have a cat. I just need my time to like recoup. Like I need to go within myself to recharge, and I get drained very easily. Is that something that you experience, Linz? I know you're a bit more like social than me.
Yeah, actually, I had a conversation today with my coworker about this because they just went on a work conference to Disney World. I told her, I was like, that is my living nightmare. I love people and I like socialize, etc., but it has to be so specific for me. I've found, especially over the years, and I just didn't know this about myself, as I've gotten older, it almost feels like, oh, no. I love like this type of vibe, this type of person that I feel safe with, this type of situation where I have endless energy. Then it's like endless energy, but otherwise, like I have to cut it off and go home and be alone. The word necessity was so it, though. It's like, it is a need. I need to leave right now.
I will not be okay if I like
I need to
you
go home.
You don't want to be around
and
me.
be in the bath.
I've been like this ever since I was a kid. I didn't really make my close friends who I felt like understood me until I think it was 8th grade when I met Rachel and Victoria. Shout out to them. But before that, I was like, who are these people? Like, and so my mom would invite kids over like after school when I was like kindergarten, first grade, whatever. And after 30 minutes, I'd say, Mom, can they go home now?
Stop.
And my mom would be like, Abby, your friend's here. I'm like, can they go home? And so my mom jokes that Dakota's the only friend I never sent home.
Amazing. Wait, that's really true love. That's so sweet.
You have to find the right people because someone like you
Yeah.
and our friend Lizzie, shout out to Lizzie. I'm just going to start shouting out all my friends. But there's certain friends that I can be around longer because it's like their energy. And
Yeah.
also, I have to be with someone that's okay with like sitting in silence with me because I cannot. I might be in my yap era, but there's a limit. It's like, I got to clock out at a certain point and just be
Yeah.
staring into the void.
Wait,
So,
that's so funny, Abby, because like the people like Lauren, one of my best friends, Lauren, I feel the safest. Shout out to Lauren. I feel the safest with her, and we are in our Yap era together, but she's also a Gemini moon. Not in her 12th house, but I think like where I feel safe is the opposite, where I'm like, oh, now I can talk so much. Like I have everything to say to my safe person.
I didn't know that. I love that
Like I get
that's rejuvenating for you is being able to talk like
it's
with
really
them.
rejuvenating to me. If I feel like safe enough, I'll be like yapping away.
If you have some 12th house placements, that can manifest, in a lot of different ways. And maybe, feel free to write in and let us know how it manifests for you. For me, I'm a homebody and I work in a dark room all day as a massage therapist. And
The coziest
so
space.
I'm literally in the dark with as little sounds as possible. And that's my place where I feel most comfortable operating. Like, yeah, I love to perform and stuff, but I also need to go back to my dark room
Yeah.
and not talk. I was actually thinking of two people I know. One person who is sun in the 12th is a therapist. Like, boom.
Fascinating.
It's written. Yeah.
Literally written in the stars,
That's the
right?
thing.
Your sun is like the ego, the identity, kind of your career-ish, like how you present yourself out to the world in her 12th house of the mind. Wild.
Another 12th house theme can be because you can get caught in your mind a lot, or not even just the mind, but it's just such a liminal space the 12th house is. You're just in this foggy space that sometimes, like, addiction can kind of
Yeah.
fall into the 12th house.
Because you're stuck in like a
So,
loop. So it might be like struggling with substances. You're like in a loop if you're in the shadow side of it.
the other person I know with the sun in the 12th house, they are a life coach who is also hosts retreats. So I'm like, retreats is so 12th house in like the most positive sense of like, I'm going to solo travel to Southeast Asia and do a solo trip. Like that feels 12th housey.
Wow.
It's interesting. I don't know how it is for you, Linz, but my sun and my moon don't see each other. They don't aspect each other. And so that is just hard for me. Like I talk about all the time, this part of me wants this and this part of me wants that. And it's hard to figure out for me how to put them together. And so a lot of times I talk about myself as two different like things. I'm like, oh, the part of me that does improv has a podcast, and the part of me that is in a dark room doesn't talk to people and massages all day. So it's like hard to figure out what my like ultimate goal is because these things feel so different, these two different kind of parts of me. And so yeah, having my moon in the 12th not aspecting my sun, it's hard to connect the dots for myself at least.
And they're next to each other. That's why they don't see each other.
I guess I didn't really explain that. Yeah, I have sun in the first house in Leo, moon in Cancer in the 12th.
So they're
and
neighbors.
They're neighbors, but there's a wall.
Yeah.
There's a wall, there's a fence, there's a tall white fence that you're like can hear them talking on the other side, but you're like there's no doorway, there's no way to like
Yeah.
go over there and say, hey, what are you up to? You want to get coffee? You want to come over?
The can with the
Like,
string. You know, it's like it's I would also be curious to know because I know specifically the degrees because I'm into the numbers. So my sun is at 2 degrees and my moon is at 2 degrees. So they are like
Wait, what?
perfectly equal. I've always felt really balanced in self, and I feel really balanced in my drive and my moon of like inner world. My external world and my inner world have always felt really balanced to me. And I think it's interesting that my sun and my moon are like equidistant apart. So my neighbors, me and my neighbor are like like
You're having a block
our
party.
little garden is like perfectly like together and like split right in half. Like the peonies on this side and the roses on this side. Like we're like synergistically connected.
Yeah, because you have a sextile because you're, yeah, like you said, one apart. It's your moon and sun sextile exactly, which is complementary. Like they're doing two different things, but they get along well. They like inspire each other. They like spice each other's life up. Yeah, you
Yes.
have like a little communal garden between
Inside
your
of me.
I love that. I'm so jealous of that, but apparently I really needed to be a Cancer moon. So I
When the
gotta just take
soul
what I can
when the
get.
soul knows what it wants, it gets it, you know?
I do love being a Cancer moon, but also I cry a lot.
Yeah, that's a part of it.
Just wanted to say, I think everyone I know that has moon in the 12th has taken SSRIs at some point.
I have not, but
Oh, okay, then
but
forget it.
this is my SSRI. I'll walk you through it. I
Okay.
could go days in my bed. Depression? ¿Cómo se dice depression?
We're gonna bring in Lindsay's therapist.
My
and
SSRIs
psychiatrist
are
and
now
see
those
if
mushroom capsules, but also like, yeah, I don't know. I like just feel like the heaviness like of all the things, but I should probably would be helped a lot by doing that.
I had a bad experience with SSRIs, but I take other meds for anxiety and ADHD. But I did the whole SSRI journey.
It's
Yeah,
hard
I
to know
have some
people
friends.
that haven't been on one.
Yeah, who are the
Me.
people that aren't taking meds?
In my room alone, not like making friends or doing anything.
Someone DoorDash Lindsay some Zoloft.
Can I actually share
That's not
something
a good
really
idea.
funny? Really fast.
Yes.
I went on a bachelorette 2 years ago. No, last summer. I think it was last summer. In Mexico, in Cabo. We went to the pharmacy to get stuff, to like get whatever. I was like literally probably looked like I was 12. I was like, can I get an antibiotic for UTIs just to have in the future? Like I picked up that. I picked up amoxicillin. I was like there for the antibiotics, and the girls that I were with were like cool girls. They're like, really? And now they're like, we're here for our like, what's the other one that calms you down? They were getting like all sorts of things.
Benzos?
Yes. And they were so like cool, and I was like, oh my god.
Wait, a pharmacy that has things that you need prescription for, you could get them over the counter? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, Abby, Mexico.
I don't know. I haven't been to Mexico. I want to go, but I haven't been.
Oh, you can get anything you want. You go up and you're like, hey, I need this. I need an SSRI. I need this. I need this. And he goes, okay. In Spanish, like, it's 80 pesos.
That's wild. I mean, girl, I'm glad you're getting your antibiotics. I guess what I would say with the different placements in the 12th is that I would maybe think about what rejuvenates you, what makes you feel more close to yourself in your inner world, and how can you nurture that in a conscious way that is more helpful to your overall life and well-being. If your sun is in the 12th, it's like part of what you're here to illuminate in this life and bring light to is 12th house themes.
So moon is reflection. So maybe it's like there's more reflecting happening in the 12th house.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, your moon is your body, your emotions, how you bring your greater vision, which is like represented by the sun, the sign in the house that the sun is in.
Yeah.
It's like the vision, kind of the life purpose vision. How do you bring that to life in your day-to-day life, in your physical body, in your physical form? It's like the moon. And so behind the scenes kind of stuff. How I read it for myself, and maybe this will change over time. I'm sure it will. I need to do the inner work, the deep work to get the true fulfillment that I want in my life. I need to go through the hard stuff. I need to deal with my mental health. And mental health in some capacity for me, I mean, mental health isn't only in the 12th house, or that's not the only signification. Something about those 12th house themes that are going to help bring my purpose into light. That's the direction I need to go to get to where I want to be.
Yeah.
I got to go inside. I got to go on a
Yeah.
silent meditation retreat
Yeah.
if I could afford those and if I wanted to do them.
Two-part problem.
Yeah, two-part problem. And the problem is me, part of it, which is very 12th house. I'm getting in my own way.
Yeah.
The 12th house, I saw so much in Queen Charlotte because, again, I had my little Astro opera glasses on as I'm watching TV. What's that?
Her
like,
monocle.
RuPaul? Yeah, my monocle. What is RuPaul does that, like, I can't wait to see how this turns out. And then they put on their opera glasses, and now it's like a whole bit that all the queens do. But that's me with watching anything. Like, what's the astrology? Little synopsis about the show. It's the origin story of Queen Charlotte, who's in Bridgerton, And Bridgerton is historical fiction of the Regency era. Queen Charlotte and King George III. Queen Charlotte, the show, is about their relationship and how she came to be. It is based on real people. So they are real people. I'm not going to talk about their real astrology, just need to say they're real people. They don't have birth times, thank God, because then I'd feel pressured to like do a whole chart analysis. But I'm just going to be talking about like what I saw in the show. A lot of stuff that they talk about in the show did happen and is true, but it's not like, a biopic or something.
Yeah.
It's like it's still fictionalized. I will say I'm proud of myself because I guessed King George's sign correctly. So he was like, up, talking about science, and he's like low-key an astrologer, which we'll get into that. But he's like, oh, science, and I like agriculture, and and I was like, he sounds like a Gemini. He's a Gemini stellium. The real King George had a Gemini
Amazing.
stellium. I had to flex that I called his Gemini ass out watching the show.
Amazing.
He's like a Mercury in Gemini Mercury retrograde in Gemini. But yeah, basically synopsis of the show. Queen Charlotte, who in this fictionalized version, she's a black woman, and it shows how she came to be queen and how their marriage created a massive change in England and like more equality amongst all the people there of different races. And so that's the like fictionalized version that the show is about and that Bridgerton is about. So yeah, it's from like her perspective. But it also shows her relationship with King George, who has mental health issues. Yeah, it was pretty much like unknown at the time, like the stuff that he was dealing with. They called it madness. It's like a thing that's talked about that he was like the Mad King. I found this on the Historic Royal Palace's website by Polly Putnam. It is almost impossible to give a cause for or diagnose the king's illness. These inconsistencies have led historians to diagnose the king with many different illnesses and conditions, including arsenic poisoning, porphyria, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, and most recently bipolar disorder. They showed his madness in the show, but they don't really know. Just want to say that was a real person who dealt with real things, and we don't really know what it was. And I'm not a historian. I'm an astrologer and a dork. The 12th house moments I saw in the show, in the beginning, it's an arranged marriage, and she's like, I don't know if I want to marry this random guy. Everyone's like, oh, the king's interesting. But then she meets him, and he's like super cute and charming, and she's like, okay, I'll marry him. So they like have a cute little wedding, and then he brings her to like her house, her palace. And she's like, oh, we're going to spend the night. And he's like, no, I'm leaving. He's like, I'm going to my house. And she's like, what?
Oh, yeah.
And so she's very isolated. He's keeping secrets from her. He's isolating and not explaining why. There's that 12th house tendency to isolate, to lock oneself away and shut other people out of your life because you're wanting to hide your secrets and push things under the surface, have them not be seen.
Yeah, like a fear of being seen. Like a strong fear of being seen.
Yes. That's another thing I struggle with personally.
Same.
It's a struggle, yeah, being seen. If you have a lot in the 12th house, you're like, no, like you don't want to be exposed.
But being seen in a romantic, emotionally vulnerable one-on-one partnership, huge. It's definitely an obstacle to get through that, to reach through the other side of like emotional sharing, like vulnerably being together.
Eventually she kind of, weasels her way in and is like, hello, like what's going on? He's like, oh, I'm watching Venus. His excuse for why he didn't want to sleep with her the first night was that there was like a really interesting alignment in the stars and you'd be able to see Venus. And I'm like, this guy's an astrologer.
You're like, I get it. I'm out there too.
Yeah, I related to that.
She's like, but have you heard about the moon?
And then eventually he like opens up to her and they're really connected and she spends the night with him and then is awoken to him like having an episode. So he's like,
oh my
scribbling
God.
on the walls. He's like talking to himself. He like runs outside and like strips down naked and is like yelling at the stars. And he's having like a full episode. And she's like, what the fuck? And he like hears her talking to his mom and is like, how could you not tell me this? And he's obviously feeling like oh, she doesn't love me. He's embarrassed maybe, or just like, oh, no one can see this. No one can know. That felt very 12th house to me, of like, someone saw me in my most vulnerable state, which is when I'm just going to call it a mental health episode. Someone saw that other than like the people that are close to him, like his personal assistant. I don't know what they called it back at the time. He runs away because that tendency to isolate of like,
Yeah.
I'm so ashamed of this. No one's going to love me. I'm misunderstood. Like, I'm a danger. So he locks himself away again. He's in a basement a lot. And I'm like, that feels very 12.
Oh my God.
Being in a basement. She's badass, and she finds him. Sees him being tortured. It's pretty fucked up. And she fires the doctor. And the doctor's like, I'm just trying to help. Like, I'm just trying to bring back his sanity. And this, like, quote, so badass. She's like, I care not for his sanity. I care for his... Wait, let me do the accent.
Yeah, let's hear it.
She's like, I care not for his sanity. I care for his happiness, and I care for his soul. Let him be mad, if madness is what he needs. You are finished. And then she fires the guy. And I was like, oh my God, the way she says it of like, I'm going to get emotional. Like, I don't care. I don't need him to be fixed, like, and be a different person. I just want him to be safe and happy. And I feel like that hit me really hard. Because obviously it'd be easier if he didn't have the problem, right? It'd be easier to be in a relationship with them, and you don't want them to be struggling. But then at the same time, I care for his well-being. Like, why would I...
That's what you need in a partner, to love you and to make sure that you're safe and protected. Wow, what a powerful scene.
After that scene, you're like, oh yeah, they're in it together, they're good. But he's still shutting her out. The next episode, he like is actually kind of mean to her. He's like, get out of here, Charlotte, leave now. Like he's yells a lot, which I don't love. Like, it's clear that he's trying to protect her because he feels that he's a danger, and maybe he is to her. And when he's having an episode, I don't know. But she pushes forward and is like, I love you, and like, I'm here to support you. And he's fighting it so hard in that scene. It just reminded me of my like early days with my mental health issues. I have anxiety and ADHD, but I didn't get diagnosed with ADHD till I think I was like 25, but had anxiety my whole life, but started experiencing panic attacks like right after college, when I was like less than 6 months into my relationship with Dakota, who's now my husband.
Shout out Dakota.
But shout out Dakota. I feel like he gets mentioned every episode. How could we not? How could he not? He's outside that door, probably listening to an audiobook and scrolling. Love him. It reminded me of, when I started having panic attacks, and I would just be like, leave me alone. I would just try to hide as best I could, but you can't really hide when you're in an intimate relationship with someone. You can try, but like, it doesn't really work. And Dakota would try to help so much, and he did help a lot and still does, but I would always just try to push him away every time. And sometimes I still catch myself doing this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be seen like this. I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to be too much. And like, the stuff that he's witnessed, I feel like a stranger to myself when I'm in my worst panic attack spaces. And so having someone see you in that vulnerable place is really hard and really scary. It's hard to accept love sometimes.
And to ground that energy, like the static, chaotic, kinetic energy. It's like such a beautiful thing, but it's also so scary to allow that partner to ground the energy. I think it's also like, if you don't have practice doing that, like if you also don't have other relationships in your world where like this is the first time you're experiencing, it's just so foreign that it's hard. It's like anything you're learning new, it's like practicing, and practicing isn't easy. It's not like fun to start something like completely new, like especially when you're sharing really intimate emotions and like states of your nervous system, when your nervous system is all kinetic.
I never thought about it like that. It was new to me. I hadn't had like a full-blown panic attack until that time. That was my first time really experiencing that and having this person who I'm new to a
Yeah.
relationship with, don't want to lose them, and they're seeing me through it. So it was new to me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure if that had happened to me when I was in New Zealand with you,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I would have been more prepared, but I didn't have a panic attack for the first time until
Yeah.
after college.
Well, and there's so much to like the mind body connection too with like somatic healing of like stored emotions in the body, and like sometimes for whatever reason maybe you get triggered by a specific something, like the emotion has to come out.
Yeah. I think I just didn't have the tools either from my upbringing to handle stuff like that. I never had tantrums really as a kid. I wasn't didn't feel like I could express the full range of my emotions in like a safe way.
Yeah, same.
My family's a very safe space, but just the dynamic between my siblings and like being the middle child, and like I had never had an experience of like this crazy emotional outburst I don't have control over.
Yeah, I had like a delayed there too. Like I didn't have like emotional outbursts until like in my 20s to my family. Like really extreme outbursts. There was no space for me to have that outburst, mostly because my mom was having them, so we all had to like cater to her outbursts. But it's crazy. It's like it was a delay. So it was like all of my outbursts happened later in my adulthood.
Wow, yeah, I relate to that so much. I think it's like they had to come out eventually,
They do.
but now they're going to come out in a
I
way
believe that.
that's difficult.
You know what I also believe? And I said this to a friend of mine who has the best kid ever. This is just an example. They're separated. Her kid is now living with her full time. He's having a lot of outbursts. And I really believe this. I feel like when you're safe enough, when you're in a new safe environment, you'll have the biggest outbursts. I really believe that, because also when I moved to the town I wanted to live in, I was in a really healthy relationship. I started having these insane outbursts, but it was because I was finally in a safe space to have the outburst. So it's like weird in the paradox of it, but it's like when you're finally in a grounded space. And it like kind of sucks from like the ego, because I had a similar thing when I was dating John, and it was like my ego was like, I'm in a good place, like he doesn't need, like what's happening to me, like it's really confusing because it's like I'm in my best place and yet I'm in my worst place. The nurturing was so grounding for me to allow myself to be there.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm full on crying.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could tell.
It's a testament to you and Dakota's connection, and a testament to like that foundation.
I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
I think you're so spot on with that.
I really
feel like I
believe
just
it.
got like healed on a deeper level that I didn't know I needed.
Yeah.
Of being like, oh yeah, because this space was safe.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was like safe enough to allow the somatic energy that you maybe never could release before to be released with him. It just like sucks that it's like, why does it have to happen to the person that's like, I want him to like,
Want them to like me.
like I need to be.
They still think I'm hot.
Would you love me if I was a worm? Like it's always to the person that's like, please don't think I'm hot after this, please.
That's a perfect segue, because in that scene when she's like, "Do you love me?" and he's like, "I'm a madman," like the heavens and the earth are colliding. I always think I could do a good British accent, and when I hear myself doing it, I'm like, needs work. But he's like, "I'm a madman. The heavens and the earth collide in my brain. I don't know which way is up, which way is down." I'm like, 12th house, liminal space, baby. She is so strong, and it just reminded me of Dakota, the persistence of like, this person is pushing you away and you're like, no, I'm not going anywhere. I remember I wrote in my journal, probably like 2016 or 2017, I wrote, "The right one will stay." And I firmly believe that. Yeah, the right one will stay through the stuff. So she says to him in that scene, I cried a lot at this part. She said, "Is it because you do not believe that I could love you?" She's like, "I do. I do love you." Like, is it because you can't accept that someone could love you, even though you struggle with these things? Hit me hard of like, so many people I know, myself included, have felt unlovable from certain things that we struggle with. And you're not unlovable.
No.
You're very lovable for all your states and every part of you.
Yeah, every shade, like every like piece of the diamond, like you're like every like reflected part of you.
Yeah. And it's hard to accept love and to fully let go, let someone in, like Linz was saying. And I just love that to see a man cry in that scene.
Hmm.
He like sobs in her arms, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, we love to see a man cry.
Sometimes it's not a romantic connection. Like it could be a sibling or a parent that's maybe not your biological parent or someone that comes into your life and is just like your teacher. The breakthrough of like, okay, like I'm in my 12th house, I'm in a mental state, I'm in isolation, and like what a beautiful thing in humanity when you do meet people who are truly humane humans and truly like loving and respectful. Like what a gift we get to experience. It's hard at the time, but yeah, it's just nice to have a person who's like your home.
Yeah, and like you said, it doesn't always have to be romantic. That's how it manifested for me. But I'm sure if I didn't have, Dakota, then I could have gotten support from one of my friends too. I remember I was telling my therapist, "Oh, I feel so guilty. I'm taking up so much space. Like Dakota does so much for me." And then my therapist just said, "Well, one day he's going to need you and you'll be there for him." And I was like, "Yeah, right." I was kind of like, "Sure, sure. I'm always going to be the problem."
Right. Wow.
But
You
then it
really
came
believe it. You
true.
really believe it at the time. You're like, like it's me, it's me, it's me.
Yeah, I'm going to be a problem forever in these specific ways. And yeah, I said one day Dakota will need you and you'll be there for him. And it did come true because Dakota got cancer at 27, got diagnosed with testicular cancer. It was very shocking. I'm going to put a little check your testicles if you've got them PSA because testicular cancer, it's a
Yeah.
rare cancer. But it's most common. Again, we didn't know anything about this, and maybe the science. Don't quote me exactly on this.
Yeah.
But it's most common between ages 15 to 35. in men.
Really?
Yeah, because we were like, I was like, there's no way you have cancer. Check your testicles. I will link a diagram and how to do it, but it's truly because it's a very curable cancer, and if you catch it early, you can have no problems.
Wow.
But we caught it late because we didn't know. Check them if you got testicles. That's my PSA. Anyway, he had cancer, and it was shocking.
Shocking.
This was during COVID. I feel like I said that just like you. Shocking.
It was shocking.
I've been editing you a lot.
Where I say
so that's
shocking.
probably why. Yeah, shocking.
It was I can't even that was a shocking time.
It was crazy. It was during COVID. He had to get chemotherapy. It was a whole thing. But I felt like I finally understood why Dakota had stuck around for me. Because sorry. It's just it wasn't even a question.
Yeah.
For me,
Yeah.
when he got diagnosed with cancer, it's not even a question that I wouldn't be there, that I wouldn't help him, that I of course, because I love him. And I feel like I finally understood why he was with me the whole time. Lindsay, you'd mentioned before we were recording the 6th house, 12th house axis. The 6th house is also a house that has to do with health and labor, but it's more the physical health. If you get a cold or you're dealing with something that's a bit more temporary, and 12th house is a bit more chronic, but it can be kind of both. But yeah, 6th house is a bit more the physical health stuff, whereas the 12th house is more the mental health kind of stuff. But yeah, and interestingly, Dakota has his son in his 6th house, so 6th house things are a theme for him in his life. And yeah, it's just interesting that we had that switch of having to help each other in different times with different things and showing kind of both sides of the spectrum there.
Literally, because it's okay, you're struggling with the 12th, the mind, the panic attacks. You're here. You're in this maybe a dance by yourself. Meanwhile, when Dakota goes through his physical health journey, it's you're just dancing with each other's in the opposite. To me, it's you lived that. You lived that access. That's so beautiful, that you both worked through that together. It's wild to me that people don't. They're not in the right relationship, I guess.
Obviously, you want to stay if the person's the right person. You don't want to stay with someone if they're not right for you. I know that I'm lucky in a lot of ways with my partnership. I think I'm just like, everyone deserves this kind of relationship. This is the
Yeah,
kind
they
of
do.
relationship they want.
We can do better as a society.
So yeah, Dakota got diagnosed in October 2020. He was in treatment until March 2021. So actually wasn't very long. It just felt, it was a lot at once, but it wasn't like years and years and years. So I will say it was like a short amount of time compared to other
Journeys.
types of treatments. Yeah, other journeys. But then we got married in July of 2021. So it was within a year of all the stuff because we were like, we got to get married. We want to get married. And yeah, it was great. Best weekend ever. Linz was there, obviously.
It was.
Flew across the country to be
Yeah.
with me. We appreciated that.
It was truly beautiful. Like, really a soul wedding. I keep saying that, but it was just like, yeah.
Yeah, special.
Really
it was my
special.
nodal reversal. My nodal reversal was exact on that day.
What's that mean?
Isn't that crazy?
What does that mean?
It's when like the north node and the south node are
Yeah.
they're in line, but they're opposite. So like the north node was over my natal south node, and the south node was over my natal north node, and that's like a fated,
Whoa.
like fate and karma and stuff. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Taurus moon too on the day we got
Oh,
married.
perfect.
Perfect. We were the moon was exalted that day.
I felt it in the air.
We were
Just observing, it was there.
we were eating the best lobster rolls because we were in Maine. The lobster sliders. They're like, "Do you want lobster at your wedding?" And I was like, "I don't know, sure," because I also had a concussion when I was planning my wedding, so it just came together so magically. I don't know what happened. Shori, shout out to Shori, the one who works at New England Outdoor Center in Maine,
Amazing.
who planned the whole thing. But yeah, and the moon was exalted AF. It was so fun. But yeah, I don't know, the show, their relationship, and how she's like, we can do this together. I'm here with you. You don't have to do this alone anymore. And I just feel like life is easier when you have help.
Yes.
It's crazy
And-
to say,
But it's
but life's easier with help.
but it is that hurdle. There's a hurdle. There's a hurdle to ask for help. There's a hurdle to get help, and there's a hurdle to like truly surrender to help. And it's like when you're in a physical need, when your body's in a physical need, you have to completely surrender. Or if you are having a lot of mental needs that are like pulling you down, you have to completely surrender. And in that surrender, it is the most uncomfortable thing, especially for our hyper independent girlies and boys out there. Whatever your dynamic was growing up, like when you are forced to be in a dependent situation, crazy growth, crazy hard. Devotion is like what you're speaking to. Like the devotion is like bring back devotion. Instead of like, have you seen all that stuff about bring back yearning? It's like
Bring back devotion.
also bring back devotion.
Yeah, bring back devotion, accepting love, being seen. It's all difficult stuff, no matter whether you have strong 12th house placements or not. But yeah, it's hard to being vulnerable is hard, but it's really rewarding and beautiful when you can see each other and have someone see you through all the ups and downs of your life.
There's just a gift to people that are when you're in the right connection. I just want to say, like, when you're in the right connection, you can reach the other side. When you find that safe person, it's a journey to like accept their help.
Yeah, I think doing 12th house work, they say like shadow work. I feel like that's the similar kind of vibe.
Yes, shadow
of-
work and 12th house work.
I feel like it can be helpful to look at your 12th house and see, do I have planets there? And what is that telling me about myself and some stuff I could, work on or become more aware of or have like a more conscious relationship with? And even if you don't have planets in the 12th, still that sign and the planet that rules that sign is maybe something that perhaps is like a fear of some kind, or maybe those types of themes are things you might be like pushing down or uncomfortable with. So it's good to look at your 12th house, whether your planets are or not. And I'm going to give you some prompts to just kind of help reflect. I think diving into this part of your chart can be really helpful in the long run. So I'm going to start with Taurus rising. So if you're a Taurus rising, you have Aries in the 12th house. You can look at where Mars is in your chart because Mars rules Aries. That can give you kind of an indication of some things that you could look at. So I would ask you, Taurus rising, what is your relationship to conflict, anger, and independence? Is there a subconscious habitual fear story around this part of your life? And how can you acknowledge and hold space for this part of your psyche? Gemini rising. So you have a Taurus 12th house. So look at where Venus is in your chart, which sign and which house is it in. What is your relationship to resources, the material world, and stability? Is there a subconscious habitual fear story around this part of your life? How can you acknowledge and hold space for it? So if you're a Cancer rising, you have Gemini in the 12th house. So look at where Mercury is in your chart and what it's doing in your chart to give you a little more info. What is your relationship to communication, your mind, and intellect? What's your kind of fear story? Is there a fear story there? Is there something you're trying to push down in that area of your life? How can you acknowledge it and hold space for it? Leo rising, you have a Cancer 12th house. So look where your moon is in your chart. Look at the sign it's in and the house it's in to kind of get more info about your 12th house. What is your relationship to nurturing your emotions and the concept of family, whether that's biological or chosen? And what's your fear story around that? How can you be kinder to yourself and hold space for that? Virgo rising, you have a Leo 12th house. So look where the sun is in your chart. What is your relationship to creativity, leadership, and being seen? What is your fear story around that? And how can you acknowledge these fears and hold space for yourself and be kinder to yourself? If you're a Libra rising, you have Virgo in your 12th house. So look where Mercury is in your chart. And what is your relationships to systems, analytics, being of service, and also independence? Feeling called to say, even though independence isn't like the first thing you think of with Virgo, but it is like the virgin, like one who belongs to themselves. So it can be a very like solo kind of sign too. And is there a fear story around those themes? And how can you be kinder to yourself, hold space for it? Scorpio rising, you have Libra in the 12th house. So look where Venus is in your chart. And what is your relationship to relationships? Harmony and justice and other people. What's your fear story around it? And how can you hold space for this part of your mind and your psyche? Sagittarius rising, you have a Scorpio 12th house. So look where Mars is in your chart. And what is your relationship to death, transformation, control, and sexuality? What do you need to dive deeper into and not push beneath the surface? How can you acknowledge it and hold space for yourself? Capricorn rising, you have a Sagittarius 12th house. So look where Jupiter is in your chart. What is your relationship to beliefs, freedom, and travel? Is there a subconscious habitual fear story around this part of your life? And how can you acknowledge it and not let it be so scary? Aquarius rising, you have a Capricorn 12th house. So look where Saturn is in your chart, which sign and house it's in. And what is your relationship to structure, discipline, and your long-term goals? Is there a subconscious habitual fear story around this part of your life? And how can you acknowledge and hold space for that part of your psyche? Pisces rising, you have an Aquarius 12th house. So look where Saturn is in your chart. What is your relationship to groups, innovation, and being perceived as different? I'm also going to throw maybe technology in there as well. Is there a subconscious fear story that you have around this part of your life? And how can you acknowledge it and hold space for it? Aries rising, you have a Pisces 12th house. So look where Jupiter is in your chart. And what is your relationship to your imagination, to intuition, to empathy? Is there a subconscious habitual fear story that you have around this part of your life? How can you acknowledge it and hold space for this part of your psyche? To conclude, astrology can help us understand ourselves in a deeper way. Knowing I have placements in the 12th house has helped me to be aware that my mental health journey might be a recurring theme in my life and like how best I need to take care of myself. It's helped me to be like, hey, I need alone time. It's fine. It's helped me to be like, okay, it's fine that I sent all my friends home. It's fine that I'm a homebody. I also want to mention in the book Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. It's a great book. It's about like creativity and like getting to know your creative side better. And it's kind of like the artist's way, similar kind of vibe, talking about creativity in a very like spiritual way. But she has this quote, and I didn't write the quote down, so unfortunately I'm just going to be riffing.
Yeah.
It's not verbatim, but she has this quote about how when you're doing something new or something creative, fear is always going to be there. And you have to accept that you cannot live without fear. So you can talk to your fear and say,
Whoa.
fear, you can have a seat in the car on this road trip. We're going on a road trip,
Wow.
but you cannot drive. Fear. You have to
Wow.
sit in the back. You're going to be quiet. And you can say if you have concerns here and there, but you are not making the decisions. Your fears are going to be there, so it's better to acknowledge them and to work with them without letting them run your life without you really fully realizing it. And I felt that very 12th housey. Thank you so much, Linz, for taking this journey with me. I know this is
Yeah.
a heavy topic,
Yeah.
and I appreciate you giving your insight and being here with me as always. And yeah, book a session with me if you want to talk more about astrology. We can look at your chart, and I'm never afraid to talk about the dark stuff. So yeah, book a session if that's something you're interested in. And yeah, thank you guys for listening and for being here. Let us know what you think. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned. We got some more episodes, lots more fun episodes coming up. So
Yeah. See you on the
thank you
next one.
guys. See you on the next one. Bye. Love you.
Bye. Love
Bye.
you. Bye.